Good morning. Good to see all of you here this morning, bright and early. My name's James Reinders, and it's good to see a lot of familiar faces and some new ones here. I'll spend a little time this morning talking first about our software and some ideas about where it's going, ecosystems we're playing in, make some comments, answer some questions about that. And I have a second presentation a little later about the focus of my life these days, which is parallel programming models and advancing them and getting more adoption in the industry and where we're going with that. But I don't want to disappoint Christian because he's always accusing me of starting all of my presentations with photos. So I couldn't help but think that a year ago, this was not a very popular thing with me. I trust most of you made it away from our conference on time last year. I thought, gee, Barcelona was so cool, I'll just slip up to Paris for a day and help out Microsoft launching Visual Studio 2010. That one day led to 8 extra days in Europe while I waited for this volcano to quit scaring the European air traffic folks so much.
How do you pronounce the name, please?
It's the Eiffel Tower. Which I had to keep eating lunch by for a week before I plotted my escape. But I guess there were worse places to be stuck. And you'd think that that would be enough Europe, an extra week, but some of you know I had a sabbatical last summer from Intel, a couple of months, and I brought my family back to Europe, and this symbol may mean something to some of you. It's a trail marker, and we did Tour de Mont Blanc, which is 170 kilometer. I usually tell my American friends it's a 100-mile hike, but 170 kilometer hike that we did for about 9 days in the Alps, which was just incredibly beautiful. Even the fact that this tour existed, this walk, was because of this conference a year earlier. Someone had mentioned this to me. So anyways, I didn't want Christian to be disappointed by photos. So it's been an exciting last year. Let me talk a little bit about products and things we're doing at Intel as well. So we like mission statements at Intel. We like to talk about our mission. So our mission as software is a combination of opening up what our platforms are capable of, and making that useful to our customers and to Intel. So the customers of our software, the users of our software, should find that our software lets them take better advantage of our platform. And we got to see from Aaron's presentation that we're not letting up on adding more functionality, more capabilities, more things into our processors. It's staggering how many processor introductions we've had in the last year, and what will continue this next year to continue to have more and more processor introductions. Very exciting things, including Sandy Bridge having integrated GPU on the device, gives some exciting capabilities. Of course, we're sampling, or we're doing software development on a processor called Mike. The current version of Mike, the Knight's Ferry that's out there for software developers, it's not a product we sell, has only 32 cores on it. We will actually ship something late next year that has quite a few more than 32, or at least more than 32. Anyways, we're committed to keeping our software on top of this and let software developers take advantage of this. For Intel, we have our selfish reasons. It won't make a whole lot of sense for anyone to buy these processors if we don't help take advantage of them. So we work very hard at this. Now, we also work to be a very dependable supplier. So I'm very proud. We have a very large user base of our products directly. And our technology makes it into other products as well. So last year, we grew our business, continue to be very proud that our business grows, not as fast as we'd like, but that's has a great deal to do with the economy, but to be able to say the last few years that our business has continued to grow despite the economy is quite an accomplishment, I think. A testament to a great deal of the help we've had from our channel and respect from our customers. Introduced new products, continued on our leadership, and we're in more ecosystems than ever. So let me talk a little about this. So as I said, our software tools business grew last year, which is fantastic. We also decided to invest in a customer advisory board. We brought together, for the first time, customers and the senior management of our products division, and we decided to do that with a group here in Europe first. So we met in Nice in early December. We still have not finalized our plans when we'll do one of these in the United States, but we decided that we thought doing it in Europe first would be a very logical and a good investment, and it was very productive. And I can say a little more about that. We came to a meeting with this customer advisory board. You'd like to give me a new battery. All right. All right. Thanks. Awfully early for a battery to get tired. All right, so we got together with this group of customers, senior folks from Intel side and from customer side last December, and had a very productive few days. I was thrilled because it's not often that I get an opportunity to bring together the product managers, senior product managers all together, and it's even more unusual to have such key customers together. In any case, we had a very large amount of feedback. I can't even begin to do it justice summarizing it, but we're in touch with customers' feedback. It's useful feedback for us for product direction as well. We get a lot of feedback from our customers. This gave us a little bit of opportunity for more strategic discussions. So this included discussions about where we're going with embedded, where we're going to support the mic processor, how we look at Sandy Bridge graphics, so forth. So we had a lot of really great feedback, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate that a lot of people in this room helped give us some indications of which customers to invite to this. We will definitely do it again. I don't know exactly when, but this was very useful. So it's neat to see as we grow our business, as we get into more things, that we find more ways also to get the sort of feedback, I think, that will ensure our continued ability to produce great products and see great leadership from Intel on this. We did introduce some great products last year. We made it to the second generation of Parallel Studio, so Parallel Studio 2011. The Parallel Studio XE, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a little bit here, but when we made a decision to create Parallel Studio, which is a simple version, perhaps, of our tools aimed at a little bit more of a mass market. When we did that, we did delay the ability to release our main products a little bit. But we came up with some really innovative technology that got people very excited. And we finally, last November, were able to re-release pretty much all of our products. Very exciting refresh of our products. In Parallel Studio XE 2011 and in Cluster Studio. Leadership-wise, we have the best Fortran on the planet. Now, define best. Well, to me, best is you can show that you get generally the best performance on Intel and AMD processors across the board. You have the best implementations of Fortran 2003, 2008. You're the first Fortran to support co-arrays, both in a distributed and in a shared memory fashion. In fact, when I look at the graphs and the metrics and so forth for our Fortran and C++ compilers, I see us having a better lead in both features, stability, and performance than I've ever seen us have, which is a great feeling. We came out with a new version of VTune, very popular tool, very strong additions to it, very excited about that. We introduced our Silk Plus parallel programming capability into our compilers, Linux and Windows. We have continued our success with threading building blocks, which is the most popular abstraction for parallelism out there for C and C++. And Inspector, our ability to inspect memory for memory faults, that's on Linux now as well. And Parallel Advisor has been very useful to customers and shows a lot of promise. And we've had a lot of encouragement to make that available in the future on Linux, which we're working on. And that's a good problem to have when someone likes a product well enough to encourage you to make that technology available in more places. So I feel very good about our leadership, our ability to deliver products that matter into the marketplace this last year. And ecosystem-wise, while Linux and Windows remain king, we continue to invest most heavily in our HPC and our Linux and Windows products. But we see our influence on parallelism across the board, including outside of the HPC segment, grow. Last year, DreamWorks animation standardized on threading building blocks. Adobe standardized when they released their Creative Suite 5 on threading building blocks for parallelism. We're seeing many, many more companies come to the realization that threading building blocks is the way to go to implement parallelism, get a portable, open solution that's extremely effective. Our acquisition of SilkArts and RapidMind are paying fruit now. We have products and technologies in the marketplace based on those acquisitions. Our embedded capabilities are growing. Wind River is shipping Intel products as solutions in their business. MeeGo continues to be very important to us. It's a step forward. And we acquired McAfee. And I don't have a clue, or if I do, I can't share what that'll mean in the future. But I'm very excited about that as well, because security, it would be very difficult to say security is not important to the future of Intel or computing. So let me go ahead and say it is very important to the future, and you can expect to see a lot of innovation from Intel in this space. And then this next year, we're going to keep growing sales. Some of you get to go in a room this afternoon while Belinda and Christian tell you exactly how they're going to inch your quotas up and so forth. But I'm very, very confident that we have the strong products to drive sales. And then we have Mike just around the corner, so to speak. Knight's Corner, which is the silicon that we will actually start selling next year, should exist later this year. And we should get a first-hand look at what this device is going to be like. The Knight's Ferry software development is going quite well. It's been well received by people who've been working on it, giving us feedback, telling us what we need to improve before we have a product. But that's pretty phenomenal. So we've got products in the marketplace that are 2-core, 4-core. We have some server parts now as of this month that are 10-core. But Knight's Corner will give us a device that is more than 50 cores. So we're going to have a wide spectrum, and our software will support all these. We'll have tools updates. I'll talk about parallel programming models a little bit later today, but one of the things that we're very committed to is seeing that these models get supported by other vendors as well. We intend to be the best at supporting them. We intend to have fantastic products, fantastic support, but we also know that proprietary programming models are not as good for the industry, and it's not as likely to succeed long term. So we are committed to getting Silk Plus into other compilers. Now, I can't promise you what other compilers will do, but I will tell you that we will see other compilers do something in this space in the next year. Array building blocks, which comes out of partially our RapidMind acquisition, is doing pretty well. I'll give a little bit more of an update on that later. The beta has gone really well there to tell us what we need to improve, and we are in some planning now to make some major upgrades to that to really deliver on the promise. I am currently working with 2 other co-authors on a book on parallel building blocks. Or I should say we've written an outline. Hopefully before the end of the year you'll see a book on parallel building blocks that will help give more educational capabilities there on how we can educate people on parallel programming. So we have a lot in store for us. The ecosystem that we've been in for the longest time is HPC. And we're very strong there. This is where our Fortran and C and C++ compilers, VTune, this is where our MPI and our MPI tools deliver a lot of value to customers that are squeezing performance out of their machines. Our introduction of Silk Plus will help here. And our co-array Fortran, which is very new, is showing a lot of promise for this market. And of course, our tools for mic and our mic processors are highly anticipated in this market, as many people look at mic as our answer to NVIDIA's GPUs. I look at it as the right way to bring very dense, high-performance computing to this market, something I would say GPUs have only given us a hint of what's possible. So we have a very exciting future here. Aaron. I wasn't supposed to show this. Aaron really wanted to name our Parallel Studio as Parallel Studio I1, I2, or I3, I5. Aaron, we can't be mixing up these photos. No, we actually rejected the wonderful Intel naming schemes of 1, 3, and 5. I can't answer what they mean either, or why we picked them. I can do what Aaron did and explain what they are. We have Parallel Studio was many different things, but one of the things we did is spend attention at branding, at emphasizing the idea of using a collection of tools together. That's been pretty successful for us with some other combinations. One of the combinations we've had, of course, has been our Compiler Pro edition in the past, where we took our compilers and libraries, brought them together, and sold them as a package. Our Cluster Toolkit Compiler Edition we've had, where we brought our cluster tools and the compiler together, has been popular. So in November, we decided that we would bring all the XE products together, the products for the HPC market, and give an opportunity to sell them together. VTune, the Parallel Inspector, the compilers in Parallel Studio XE. It gives a simple messaging, and our expectation here is that a certain percentage of the market, probably not the majority, will elect to buy the product this way, but it's easier to talk about our segmentation. So our biggest seller I expect will be Parallel Studio XE and the pieces in it. That's not a big leap, since our compilers that are in it are our big sellers. And then the cluster toolkit brings together the cluster capabilities. I do expect the cluster toolkit that we'll add inspector and vTune to it over time, and then we'll call it cluster toolkit XE. But that's not currently a product at this point.